What is going on, y'all? What's happening? Thank you for joining us here on the SHR Media Network for the Mission Ready Men briefing. Today is Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. And we're going to talk about something today that the left and the American Pravda has refused to talk about, really. So we'll get into that. JD Vance is a master at deflecting hecklers, and even when they try to involve his kids, which makes him a better man than a lot of us. And AOC finds herself in hot water yet again, and this time she's been pretty much silent. So we got those things for you coming up and more if we have time. But thank you for joining us here on the SHR Media Network. And you can follow this show on all the socials at Mission Ready Men on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Truth Social. And for our merch, head over to missionreadymen.com, shop 7 Armors, and check out all of our great t-shirt designs and some of our drinkware. But yeah, check out missionreadymen.com, shop 7 Armors, and get all the good stuff there. All right. I believe business is now out of the way, so let's get after it. Yeah, so I said I was going to talk about something that the American Pravda has neglected to talk about, and it's that Christians are being slaughtered in the Middle East, specifically Syria, and I believe 70 Christians were beheaded in the Congo last month, rounded up from their homes, taken to a church, and beheaded. Matthew 10:22 says, and you will be hated by all for my name's sake, but he who endures to the end will be saved. Those Christians who stood up, didn't renounce their faith, those Christians are with God now in heaven. But it didn't have to be that way. And one of the things that's really confusing and concerning is how much especially in the West, how much they love to intervene on behalf of other people, other countries. They take great pains to go out of their way to not offend Muslims and Islam. But when it comes to Christians, oh well. Yeah. It's just Christians, no big deal. It's to the point where it's even really hard to find a lot of stories to compile anything really to present to you, because they just refuse to report on it. They refuse to report on it. And when you do find stories, they mention all the other people that are being persecuted, that are being killed, and then Christians are an afterthought. Especially with Syria going on right now, a lot of the stories you will find talk about how the Syrians are rounding up the Alawites, which is a sect of Islam that goes against the Sunnis and the Shiites and all the rest of it. But because they believe somewhat differently, and I don't know what the details are in terms of what Alawites believe as opposed to Sunni and Shia and all that. But those are the people that get the focus in a lot of these stories. And the thing, and I'm not trying to minimize the fact that they're getting slaughtered as well, obviously. But that's where the focus is for a lot of these so-called journalists. And then the Christians get added in as an aside or an afterthought. And so you have to wonder why. And we know why. Christianity and Christians, Christianity is the most persecuted religion in the entire world. I think there may have been somewhat of a shift a few years ago, but for the most part, Christianity is the most persecuted religion in the world, and therefore Christians are the most persecuted people in the world. I think I have a graphic here. Yeah. Let me just pull this up real quick. Bear with me. It's been, I usually have a lot of time to prepare. Well, not a lot, but I usually have more time to prepare the night before, but my job has been conspiring against me. And so it wasn't cooperating. So I've been a little rushed this morning. But here, check this out. This is a graphic basically showing how Christianity is the most persecuted religion, hands down, and is as of 2024. All countries where Christians suffer high to extreme levels of persecution. And Mexico kind of surprises me, actually, but all these countries in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, I think that's Oman, or no, not Oman. I believe that's Yemen right there. But either way, just look at the color code. Christians are highly persecuted, and now that the regime has toppled in Syria, and just to bring that up, since I mentioned it, Bashar al-Assad, as much of a tyrant, as much of a dictator as he was, he kept the Muslim extremists at bay for the most part. Christians in Syria felt somewhat protected by Bashar al-Assad, and once his regime was toppled, it was really only a matter of time before everything broke loose. And I'm not going to show you all of there's a number of videos out there that shows what the Syrian rebels, the Islamic extremists, are doing to Christians, beating them, shooting them. It's just, it's sad. And no one is talking about it. And I mean, even outlets like Newsmax. I don't get to watch OAN much. I don't know if they've talked about it, but if they have, it's not very extensively, and it's not getting picked up by anyone. I think I saw a story in Newsweek, but that was one where they mentioned Christians and Christianity as an aside to the Alawites. And the reason why I believe the reason why is because the reason why they hate Christians is because Christians and Christianity directly oppose their worldview. It goes against everything that they hold dear. Christianity opposes the idea of anything goes. If it feels good, do it. It teaches against the moral relativism that these people who hate Christianity worship. They worship the moral relativism. They worship themselves. They believe that everything that they do is great because it makes them feel good, and what they feel is the only thing that matters. And like I said, Christianity stands and teaches against that, and they just won't have that. But yet they will go out of their way, like I said before, to coddle and not offend Islam, which, not to compare the two, but Islam is completely against homosexuality. They will toss a homosexual, transgender, whatever, off the roof of a building. Christians don't do that. We'll pray for them. But yet, Christians are the ones who are persecuted the most. And of course, because this is happening in the Middle East, and a lot of it stems from their hatred of the Jewish people, and by extension, us and Christians, because Israel represents Western culture in the Middle East, and so they hate the Jews. The entire world basically hates Jews and Christianity, because they go hand in hand. Christianity is an outgrowth of Judaism. I'm not going to get into all of the history behind that, but they hate Christians and they hate Jews. And if you don't think that they hate Jews, all you have to do is look at the number of UN resolutions against Israel as opposed to the rest of the world. And I think I have that up. I might not. Like I said, it's been an interesting couple of days. Yeah, here we go. Let me pull this up real quick, because you really want to see what the contrast. You really want to see what the rest of the world thinks of Israel, and by extension, the United States. But the UN General Assembly, they have issued a number of resolutions against Israel, and the number that they've issued against Israel as opposed to the rest of the world, just in 2024, and we can go back. I think they go back as far as 2006 in this. Yeah. 17 resolutions just on Israel, and 6 on the rest of the world. 1 resolution each for North Korea, Iran, Syria, Myanmar, Russia, and 1 against the United States for its embargo against Cuba. 17 on Israel. While Israel is getting attacked on all sides and doing everything they can to defend themselves, Israel is the problem. As opposed, as opposed to all of the countries surrounding Israel that are attacking them and attacking Israeli citizens. It's really remarkable that they're this brazen, displaying their hatred of Israel. And I know I started this discussion talking about how Christianity is the most persecuted people, but Jews are not far behind. Sorry about that, folks. I hope you can still hear me. We had a slight technical issue, and I'm still getting still everything back, but I hope that, like I said, I hope you can hear me. The show is going to go on, and I am going to press on. I'm not giving up. All right. I think I pretty much covered everything I needed to cover um, with regard to Christians being persecuted around the world and things like that. So let me just continue the march and get to some of these other things that I wanted to cover really quick. Um, I mentioned in the opening that JD Vance is a master at deflecting. He's a master at just he's never caught off guard. He's never caught off guard. He's never at a loss. Even when you think maybe they're gonna catch him and maybe he'll say something like, I don't know, or maybe he'll no, it doesn't happen. And even when he was out with his daughter, he was out with his daughter and a bunch of pro-Ukraine, anti-American activists, hecklers, protesters, whatever you want to call them, started harassing him and scaring his daughter. And I don't know very many people that would be gracious in a situation like that, even given his position as VP, because there's just when it comes to the kids, and the left was always the side of leave the kids alone. The kids don't. The kids aren't. The kids should be left alone. The kids should be left out of it. And so, if you see the president, if you see a celebrity of some kind with their kids, let it go. But these pro-Ukrainian knuckleheads, they don't have that they don't have that filter. They don't have that off switch. And so JD Vance, while he was with his kid and dealing with these people, and I'm really surprised that the Secret Service let these people get that close to him. But that's a story for another time. But check this out, because this clip right here is after they confront him, and he is calm, he is cool, he's collected, and I don't know.
No one is taking it. No respect. Selling them out. Absolutely. Respected, like I disagree. I think that's what we're doing. We're actually forcing a diplomatic settlement. If you talk to Joe Biden,
no. Do you think Russia can be diplomatic?
And this is about a separate country, and I don't think our investment in that country can go on indefinitely. I understand the disagree. You're forcing to settle. We're forcing both the Russians and the Ukrainians.
Russia won't settle.
Exactly. They certainly invaded Ukraine in 2022. But there needs to be a settlement. Ma'am,
we are the aggressor every time.
Ma'am, I understand that that's your view, and certainly they have, and certainly I have condemned, ma'am, please, I'm speaking with you and I'm trying to be respectful. I have condemned the invasion, but I've also condemned the perpetual. That is.
Yeah, I mean, he handled that as well as anyone, I think, could have. given that situation, because I, I know he's the vice president. I know he has to conduct himself in a certain way, but when it comes to the kids, I think I think any hostile reaction to harassing a kid is completely justified, completely. And he didn't react that way. He didn't react that way, and I give him all the credit in the world for that. But yeah, these people, they just have no regard for anything or anyone other than their immediate need for gratification. What else could they have possibly gotten out of that confrontation? Nothing. They didn't change anything. They didn't change his mind. And do whose mind do they think they will change when they do stuff like that? Because people who may or may not be, and this is the whole third party rule, people who may or may not be on one side or the other, or are trying to analyze a situation for the first time, don't really know anything about either side, or have some ideas but are trying to educate themselves. When they see something like that, whose side do you think they're more likely to gravitate toward? Gravitate toward the side that's harassing a man with his daughter, or the guy who calmly and rationally tries to reason with those people? And to be quite honest, do you think they would side with the people who are harassing a man and his daughter, and the man who reacts, I don't want to say violently, but the man who reacts angrily, trying to protect his daughter? Whose side do you think they're gonna come down on? Honestly, they do themselves no favors with this, none. And quite frankly, I'm here for it. I want them to continue to act a fool like this, because that's only going to make things better for us in 2022, 2026 and 2028. All right. There's a couple of things I want to talk about. That technical glitch kind of threw a monkey wrench into things. Technology is not our friend over the past over the over the past few weeks, but I do want to get a word in from our sponsor, and today's show is brought to you by Carry Girl. That is the company that my beautiful wife started, and you need to check out Carry Girl, because they have some of the coolest designs, and on the best shirts you can possibly find anywhere. And again, just like with the Mission Ready mug that we have on the Mission Ready Men website, there's drinkware, there's hats, and there's all kinds of other great designs that your wife or girlfriend would love, that promote messages of faith and patriotism. And that's just what we're all about here on Mission Ready Men and Carry Girl. So go ahead and head over to carrygirlgear.com, carrygirl.com. Check out all of those awesome designs. and check out all of the other accessories and gifts that you can give to your wife or girlfriend. And if you can't decide, just go ahead and get a gift certificate. Get a gift certificate and tell them to go nuts. I know a lot of people may think that that's not that doesn't give any thought to the gift and things like that, but trust me, sometimes that's the best way to go, because you may get the wrong size. Um, you may get a design that may not necessarily, even all the designs are great, don't get me wrong. But maybe they gravitate more towards the faith as opposed to the Second Amendment, or vice versa. So just let them decide. You won't be disappointed. I guarantee it. So go ahead and visit carrygirl.com today. All right. Speaking of the Second Amendment, Commiefornia, that bastion of Second Amendment protections, they proposed a bill. So one of their representatives, excuse me, proposed a bill called AB 1333. And this bill introduces a couple of issues when it comes to self-defense. It introduces a duty to retreat, and it also introduces this concept of proportional response. And we talked about proportional response with respect to Israel a while back. And this bill introduces that into some self-defense scenarios. Now, if someone is attacking you, or if someone breaks into your home, this bill makes it so that if there's an opportunity to escape, you cannot respond with lethal force. If there's an opportunity to escape, you cannot respond with lethal force. And if there isn't, you must respond with, you have to respond with proportional force. You can't just automatically shoot someone if they break into your home. And here's the thing. This is something I always say at the end of every show. When seconds count, the police are only minutes away. So what these people want you to do, you know what, let me pull up the bill, because I want to read a couple of things from this nonsense. Because it just proves that they don't like you. They hate you. They would rather see the criminals live than you. If somebody breaks into your home and they have a knife and you have a gun, there's nothing in this bill that says even though you and I know that if they have a knife and you have a gun, you can neutralize that threat. But they don't make any distinctions like that in this bill. So they can turn around and lock you up for shooting this person because the level of force wasn't proportionate. Yeah, that makes absolutely no sense in a real world scenario, because the government can't be there all the time. As I said, when seconds count. And the government's job is to ensure the safety of its citizens. And this bill does the exact opposite of that. Let's take a look at this bill. people of the state of California do enact as follows. Let's go down here to homicide is not justifiable when committed by a person in all of the following cases. When the person was outside of their residence and knew that using force likely to cause death or great bodily injury could have been avoided with complete safety by retreating. We talked about that. When the person used more force than was necessary to defend against the danger. Well, what does that mean? Are they saying that if the person brings a knife, then you have to defend yourself with a knife? When the person was the assailant engaged in mutual combat or knowingly engaged in conduct reasonably likely to provoke a person to commit a felony or do some great bodily injury, except if either of the following circumstances apply. The person reasonably believed that they were in imminent danger of death or great bodily injury and had exhausted every reasonable means to escape such danger other than the use of force likely to cause death or great bodily injury. This bill is just a whole lot of nonsense. I'll have a link to it in the show notes. It's par for the course in Commiefornia. It really is. It's par for the course in Commiefornia. They hate you, and they hate the thought that you could possibly defend yourself and not need them to protect you. Now, a lot of people, when talking about self-defense, from a biblical perspective, always reference Luke 22:36, where Jesus tells his disciples to sell their cloak and buy a sword. I'm going to use a different passage. And let's see if technology is going to be my friend today. Yes. No. Oh, this is funny. Here we go. Exodus 22:2. If the thief is found breaking in and he is struck so that he dies, there shall be no guilt for his bloodshed. Well, that's interesting. That passage goes on to talk about if the sun has risen on him and he'll make restitution, all that. I'm not going to get into that part of it right now because we're a little short on time. But let's just say that when it comes to protecting your family, when it comes to protecting your home and the people you have under your charge, the time of day, like I said, that passage talks about the sun going down on it and all that. Time of day is of little consequence. Whether somebody's breaking into your home in the middle of the day or the middle of the night, doesn't matter. As a Christian, all life to us is precious. Even the life of the person who is looking to do you harm. You don't want to take someone's life unnecessarily. Now, when they're threatening you and the choice is either your life or theirs, the choice is clear. And as men, as Christian men, as protectors, sheepdogs, if you will, our job is to protect our flock. And I believe that it is contradictory to the will of God to be passive, to just accept that if you're being attacked, as someone said to me, and I will never forget it. If it's your time, it's your time, and you can't fight that. No, that is, I believe that is contrary to the will of God. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, as it says in John 10:10. Our job is to resist the enemy. The Bible says, resist the devil and he will flee from you. As the shepherd, as the sheepdog, shepherds, sheepdogs, protectors do whatever is necessary to neutralize that threat. Day or night, doesn't matter. Your job is to protect the people that you have in your care. And this ridiculous bill saying that you have a duty to retreat. So, think about this. Just think about this for a second. You're a young man. You have a wife and a couple of kids, young children, babies, toddlers, whatever. This bill basically says if there's a back door, which you have no idea if somebody's bringing in the front, if they have somebody stationed at the back door, you don't have any idea. But this bill says if there is an egress for you, if there's a way for you to retreat, you have to gather up your wife and your children and run away. No, absolutely not. If somebody is breaking into your home and you have a wife and children to protect, well, even if you don't, but let's just stick with that scenario. You stand there and you fight. You resist the enemy who has come to steal, kill, and destroy. No. Now, are there times when retreating is the best course of action? Sure, there are. But if you have a family to protect, that's probably not it. Now, if somebody's coming up to you on the street and they're threatening you in some way, maybe in that scenario, if you can back up and retreat without causing that person injury, and you think it's the best course of action, well then that's one thing. But this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. And this, like I said, basically just goes to show that they hate you. They would rather see you dead than the criminal. Because the criminal oftentimes will be an illegal alien or whatever the case may be. They will be part of a class, a protected class that you don't belong to. Unbelievable. As I said, as the shepherd, as the sheepdog, you do whatever is necessary to neutralize that threat and to protect your family. And if you live in Commiefornia, please call your representatives, your state senators, and have them kill this bill, because this is insane. All right, speaking of insanity, the leader of the or one of the leaders of the pro-Palestinian protests on Columbia University's campus is a man by the name of Muhammad Khalil. And he has been arrested by ICE. And the administration is threatening to revoke his visa and deport him. Bye. The people who are against this are saying that it's a violation of his free speech rights. I'm not so convinced, because if you are not a citizen of this country and you come here and you protest on behalf of people who hate this country, you protest on behalf of people who want to see this country destroyed, you have the right to say it, but we have the right to kick you out. Period. End of story. Now, if it's an American citizen who is deluded enough to talk this way, they have the right to spew that, and we would have to come up with some other way to deal with that. But he was leading these protests that destroyed property, that assaulted students, Jewish students. So no, he committed crimes. He committed crimes, and he's got to go. He's got to go. And now there was a judge that blocked it for some strange reason. These activist judges are really getting on my nerves. But that's a whole other story. But he's protesting on behalf of Hamas, the Palestinian Hamas. Hamas is a murderous, brutal regime who hates Israel and hates the United States. If Hamas could attack us the way they attacked Israel on October 7th, do you think they wouldn't? If they had the means, do you think they wouldn't? Do you think that there's a possibility that this guy, Muhammad Khalil, might be a part of a sleeper cell who would attack the United States if given the orders? Of course. Now, I'm not saying definitively that he is, but is there a chance? Absolutely. Is there a chance that he's in contact with such people? Absolutely. So why take the chance? He's not a citizen. He's actively protesting against the interests of this country. Kick rocks. Get to step in. Get out. Go live in Palestine. If everything is so great there, go. But of course, they love all of the amenities afforded to them here in this country, while they protest how bad it is. Just ungrateful and just bye. I have no use for people like that. All right, a couple more stories I want to get to, if we have the time. AOC is in hot water yet again. And where is that? It turns out that AOC has been employing an illegal alien as her deputy communications director. I thought he was her chief of staff, but it turns out he was her deputy communications director, making 80 grand a year, above the salary, like I think 10,000 or 15,000 higher than the average American salary. And she has been strangely quiet since this story broke. She's usually all over the place, but since this story broke, she has been eerily silent, and I wonder why. Now, this illegal alien who she was employing, he was her deputy communications director, Diego de la Vega. He came to this country, presumably with his parents when he was 7, overstayed his visa, and somehow began working for AOC. So the question then becomes, was he paying taxes? If he was paying taxes, how was that possible without fraudulent documents? It seems that either way, AOC committed multiple felonies. Now, this guy has self-deported. He self-deported soon after Trump got in office. But that doesn't absolve her from the crime that she committed for how long he was in her employ. And I really cannot wait. I want to see her perp walk, and I really want to see Tom Homan slap the cuffs on her. I really do. I want to see Tom Homan or Kristi Noem slap the cuffs on her for this, because she committed multiple felonies. She should be done. She should be censured. She should be expelled from Congress. Of course, they won't. They won't do that. Not even the even though we have a Republican majority, I don't think enough of them would come around to doing that. She might get censured for it, maybe. I doubt she'll get kicked out unless she gets arrested, tried, and convicted. Then I think maybe. And obviously, if she gets incarcerated for it, which probably won't happen, but if she gets incarcerated, then obviously she will be out of Congress. I am so hopeful. I am so hopeful. Because then that leaves us with Jasmine Ratchet. And Jasmine Ratchet, you know what, I think I'm probably going to have to, no, you know what, let's do this. I haven't, like I said, it's been technology has not been my friend. Wait, what was that? I'm going to have to talk about this next week, next time we're together, because this is too good. I'm not going to. Wow. All right. So, yeah, I don't have to get into it. Now, you know what? Yeah, let's do this. This one. Jasmine, it has been proven that she is not the person that she is portraying herself to be now. She grew up going to these elite private institutions. She went to Mary Institute and St. Louis County Day School, where the tuition was 25 to 35 grand, depending on the grade. Then she went to Rosati Kane, all girls Catholic school, where the tuition today is $15,000 a year. And then she went to Rhodes College, where the tuition is $54,000 a year. She grew up in a fairly affluent, well-off environment. And there are multiple videos now of her expressing herself like a normal person, well-spoken, sounded educated, sounded like she, even though some of the things she said were still obviously far left lunacy, but she expressed herself well. She expressed those viewpoints in a way that wasn't off-putting just by her tone, the way she is now. And we went from that to this. Jasmine Ratchet putting out a video. I think it was on TikTok. It might have just been on her Instagram. I'm not entirely sure. I found it on Twitter. And this is just about as ghetto as you can.
Oh no!
It's a cultural divide. I'm gonna get it on the flow.
You really about to do it?
40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
You really about to do it?
Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence.
They get on it like that.
Hey, I'm tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like fuck. Must have on a beat, bro. Deep.
This is an elected official. This is someone that has been given the honor of representing the people of I believe she's from the 30th district of Texas, which is South Dallas. This is just...
He a freak though, man down, turn like ember lamps. Tell him breathe. Let them boys get across, they walk around like thieves. What's up with these?
Wow. Just... How... I'm sure the question you're asking yourself is, how does someone like that get elected? Well, come to find out, because I asked that question, and come to find out, she ran in her district unopposed. Now, I'm not sure what the circumstances were behind why she didn't have an opponent in that district, but she ran unopposed. So basically, she just put her name on the ballot and got in. I'm not sure how many people actually did vote for her. And the other thing is, at the time, as I said, I don't have the videos queued up right now, but at the time when she was running, she sounded like a normal person. She sounded like a normal human being with wrong views, obviously, but she didn't come off like a hood rat. And obviously she's not, given the way she grew up. She's cosplaying like a hood rat. She is she's the future. She's the future of the Democrat Party. And as painful as it is to watch, if that's what they're going to do, I am here for it. I am absolutely here for it, because if that's if that's what they're going to do, if that's how they're going to approach this, they're going to double down on stupid like that. We will be fine in 2026 and 2028, and probably beyond, because they obviously don't have the ability to self-reflect. And I'm okay with it. Keep it coming. All right. I ran a little over thanks to the little technical issue we had earlier, but that's all I got for you right now. So I will try to do better on the next one. Please remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and share these episodes. And don't forget to, I neglected to mention this earlier, but don't forget to check out all the great shows that we have on SHR Media. Sackhead Sean, The Edge of Liberty, every Monday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern. And The Reaver of Common Sense with Jersey Joe every Monday and Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific. And BZ with his Berserk Bobcat Saloon every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific. So go ahead and like and subscribe to those guys. They have some great insights, and you will not be disappointed. And pray for us all that we continue to show the growth that we've seen over the past few months, so that we can continue to reach many more people. But yeah, please like and subscribe all the shows. Like and subscribe to this one, so that we can, like I said, continue to spread the word, spread the message of Jesus Christ and his message of hope and liberty, because we want to preserve it for future generations. And also, if you like this mug, head over to missionreadymen.com, shop 7 Armors, and check out the mug, the drinkware, the t-shirts, all the great designs that we have over there. All right, y'all, as always, when seconds count, the police are only minutes away, but the Lord is right there with you. So keep your prayers going up and your head on a swivel. God bless.